Oh, my glasses. Let's put my glasses on. Excuse me. Oh, boy. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Wednesday. This is Hump Day, and this, of course, will be the day that we start today to return to our original series of Star Trek reviews and also get smart reviews. So, hopefully, every Wednesday from now until the end of the year, around this time or whatever time, there is no set time on Wednesdays, but just say on Wednesdays, sometime we'll be able to do these reviews. Now, according to what I've got written down for my schedule, today I'm going to be doing very quickly 4 TOS reviews. Remember, as I said in the past, when I had the previous channel before it was, taken down, there's no goofs mentioned, just the important stats, just the first 5 trivia important stats listed. Then we go into, wherever the filming and production was, if it was outdoors or if it was there at the, particular studio. If there's any different soundtrack, it'll be listed, it'll be talked about. And then, of course, we're going to do at least 2 mini bios for TOS. So whoever is in the episode that I haven't recognized, and we'll go ahead and do a mini bio on them. Now that takes care of TOS. Everything else will be the same for Get Smart. Since there aren't that many goofs, we'll mention the goofs. And since there isn't really a lot of trivia usually mentioned with Get Smart, so with Get Smart, when we start doing those next week, along with 1 episode of TOS, that's what we're planning on doing. 1 episode of Get Smart, 1 episode of TOS. And Get Smart, as I said, will have pretty much all the stuff that it had before and whatever else needs to be mentioned. So, but only the first 5 trivia. And of course, no quotes from either show. I can't do it. My voice can't handle it anymore. Sorry. Sorry about that, Nimoy fans, but yeah, I can't do the voices like that anymore. Anyway. Okay. So for today, what we're going to mention is we'll just name off the 4 episodes, and then we're going to go ahead and mention their air dates and what their event or what their current rating is and how many people. And then I'll just go one after the other and just go through them as fast as I can. But really, actually, there is really no set time of how long I plan to do these, and I don't want to rush myself, so there's that. Anyway, ChattyBloggerMS here, MS standing for Mikey Sues. Welcome back, everybody, or at least some people that have come back to subscribe to the channel, this new channel. And for those that are still enemies to our channel, you know who you are. You're no longer going to be allowed here. Hello, Charlotte. Woo! Welcome, Charlotte. Okay, hold on, Charlotte. I got to bring back your moderatorship. Your managing mod, because you are our niece. So let's put you in here. Okay. All right. Congratulations, Charlotte. So now, our niece, we've got you as a managing mod along with Mom. Well, your aunt. Your Aunt Charlotte, or Aunt Suzanne. Heck yeah. There you go. Woohoo. Flex those muscles. Good to see you, Charlotte. It's wonderful always to see you. Hey, Charlotte, while you're here, I'll mention this. If you're going to do a live stream, hopefully for Sunday, because Saturday is a little bit up in the air for me, because I do have one prior commitment I got to do Saturday night with Chance Bartels, the Nostalgic Pod Blast. But if you're doing something for Sunday, please let me know, and I will come and join you. Yep, she's my aunt and mom too. Yeah, you're my uncle and dad too. Aw, that's so cool. Yeah. Um, I'm doing a live stream on both Saturday and Sunday, so I'll be doing a podcast on Saturday. Okay, so I'll be there for your podcast in the chat. All right, but if you're going to do a live stream for Sunday, please let me know, and I'll come join you on the panel for Sunday. Okay, that'd be great. Thank you, thank you, niece Charlotte. We love you. Yeah, Sunday for sure. I'm streaming. Okay, awesome. Okay, awesome. So I'll look forward to Sunday then for you. But I will be there, like I said, for your podcast, just in the chat and you know, asking questions and things like that. If that's cool. All right. Awesome. I'm happy you got another channel started. So cool. Thank you, Charlotte. Yeah, I know. It's been a journey. I'm telling you. I hate to say it, but your uncle here has gotten a lot more cynical. I don't trust any single person out there now. Nobody. I trust my parents, our parents. That's it. And I trust you, and I trust some of our certain friends. But as far as everything else goes, wow. Okay, I won't say it here because I don't want to be a mean person. But anyway, um, so yeah, so that's what we'll do. And like I said, starting next week, week from today on the 8th of October, that's when we'll be doing one of each to catch. We'll be caught up by that time. So it'll be one Get Smart episode, one TOS, and that'll continue all the way until TOS is done, and then we'll just finish out Get Smart. So that's what we'll do every Wednesday. Now, as far as live streaming, um, StreamYard is gone. We got rid of it. We have to save ourselves some money each month, and we did. StreamYard is over with. So what we do now is like Charlotte did for us a weekend or 2 weeks ago. She went ahead and said yes. She confirmed that you can actually still join a StreamYard panel, even though you don't have an account with StreamYard. And the best way we do that is, we go into our Facebook messengers, because we're good friends and family. Family, especially Charlotte, is family with us, and she's our adopted niece. So, yeah, she just goes in there. It's encrypted. Facebook is encrypted, thank goodness. And then she just sends the link, and then I go and join it. So that's how it goes. Yeah. And that's how it goes with Gorilla, Gorilla's Random Thoughts, with Curtis when he wants to do his Dark Shadows, Gorilla when he does his Twilight Zone on Thursday, his Walton's on Friday, Chance Bartels with his show on Saturdays that I'm now fully doing, and then of course for Charlotte, on Sundays. So that's it. That's pretty much cool. Yeah. Yeah, so happy Spooktacular season started again. Oh yeah. Well, tell that to your wonderful aunt over here, Suzanne. She is excited. This is Halloween month, yeah. So she's excited about that. Definitely. Oh, yeah, she's all into that. Yeah, definitely. She's a horror fanatic. She loves horror. Yeah. She does. Okay. Alrighty then. Well, let's get started. Sorry. I have a little bit of a issue, a little bit of a nose thing, so I apologize in advance. Get some drinks so I can talk. Okay. Yep. So congratulations, Charlotte. All right. Oh, let's see now. Where to begin? Okay, here we go. Okay, so let's quickly mention the things first about the episodes today. Episode 13 of season 2, which is called Obsession. That's where Captain Kirk obsessively hunts for a mysterious cloud creature he encountered in his youth. That aired on Friday, December 15th, 1967. They got a 7.2 out of 10 from over 3,700 people. So, yeah, I would give that a C grade. I think pretty much all the grades here we've got. except for Trouble with Tribbles, which was awesome. So that one's a definite, 10 out of 10 for me. That's an A straight up, A plus plus. Okay. All right, and then episode 14 aired Friday, December 22nd, 1967. It's where Kirk and the Enterprise computer become detectives after Scotty is accused of murdering women on the Pleasure Planet, which also got a 7.2 out of 10 from over 3,700 people, so that deserves also a C. Then the Trouble with Tribbles, it definitely is an A++. Everybody here says it's an 8.7 out of 10, which is 5,400 people. So I agree with all of them, except that for me, it's a definite straight up A. That premiered on December 29th, 1967, just after Christmas. And to protect a space station with a vital grain shipment, Kirk and the crew must deal with Federation bureaucrats, a Klingon battlecruiser, and a peddler who sells furry, purring, voracious little creatures as pets. And then finally, for tonight, or today, the Gamesters of Triskelion is episode 16, which premiered the following Friday, January 5th, 1968. Kirk, Uhura, and Chekhov are trapped on a planet where abducted aliens are enslaved and trained to perform as gladiators for the amusement of bored, faceless aliens. That got a straight up 7.0 out of 10 from over 3,900 people. So that also received a C grade from me. Yeah. Just 3 simple episodes, and then, of course, The Trouble with Tribbles, which was the best one of the 4. Okay. Alrighty. So, whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. Oh, have a great stream, Uncle and Aunt. Love you both. Big hearts. We love you too. Okay. Okay, awesome. So, our wonderful niece Charlotte was here, and I appreciate we and both of us appreciate her very very much. Oh, we love you, sweetheart. Yeah, we'll see you on Sunday then. Well, Saturday for your podcast, but I'll see you on Sunday for sure for a stream panel. So that'll be awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm honored and blessed every time you allow me to be up there. I do. And when you bring me up there, that means you bring us up there. And that means a lot. So we love you. Yeah, be good there, Charlotte. Be safe, okay? Oh, and please pass along hellos and hugs to your mom, your aunt and mom. Yeah, please. Take care of yourself, okay? Alrighty. And we got 2 likes. Cool. We got 2 people. Awesome. All right, so we're going to take a look at Obsession here first. Okay, now this episode was directed by Ralph Sinensky. It was written by Art Wallace. And of course, it stars the usual cast of characters. Shatner, Nimoy, Kelly, Uhura, played by Nichelle Nichols, Duane, uh, Miss Madgel Barrett, of course, playing Christine Chapel, Koenig, played by, who plays Pavel Chekhov. The only person I didn't see in this was, was Sulu. So I guess Sulu took the time off. Anyway. Okay. So, let's see. And of course we have Lieutenant Leslie Eddie Paskey. Right. Okay, so there's a couple of people. Well, there's two people I can talk about uh, that are credited: Stephen Brooks, who plays Ensign Garovic, and Jerry Ayers, who plays Rizzo. Okay, cool. Or I think he's a red shirt guy. So we'll talk about those two later. Okay. All right, here's the important trivia. Okay, so the ship, which I can remember, I always use this background information from IMDb. So you get what you get. Okay, so the ship uh, which Kirk served on for his first deep space mission is disclosed to be the USS Farragut and was named after David Glasgow Farragut, who was a flag officer of the United States Navy during the American Civil War. He was the first Rear Admiral, Vice Admiral, and Admiral in the United States Navy and is credited for uttering the phrase, "Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead," disregarding all danger while charging into enemy waters off the Alabama coast. That quote, however, is an abridged version. He actually said, "Damn the torpedoes, 4 bells, Captain Drayton, go ahead, Jouet, full speed." Okay. This episode establishes the fact that Vulcan blood is copper based, unlike human blood, which is iron based. Only time in the series where phasers are said to have a disruptor setting. This is also the second episode in a row in which Captain Kirk's capacity of commanding the Enterprise is questioned. And the unseen ship, the USS Yorktown, recalls the name of the ship in Gene Roddenberry's original story concept he pitched to the networks in 1964. The SS Yorktown, which was commanded by Robert April. The concept evolved to the USS Enterprise, commanded by Christopher Pike in the Cage episode from '66, then James T. Kirk. Okay. All right, there are a couple spoilers. So, if you have not seen this episode about the cloud creature, just go ahead and put your hands over your ears. And when I'm done, I'll just say, "Okay, I'm done." Or I'll just point and go like that. Okay. All right. Although Lieutenant Leslie is killed by the cloud creature, spoiler, he is seen later in the episode walking in the background. According to Eddie Paskey, who plays him, a scene was written in which Leslie and the others killed by the creature are revived by Dr. McCoy, but it was not filmed. Okay. Obsession contains 4 crew deaths, placing it alongside the Man Trap, the Changeling, and the Apple. However, the record holder is Where No Man Has Gone Before, in which, in addition to the on-screen deaths of Lee Kelso, Elizabeth Daner, and Gary Mitchell, 9 crewmen are reported killed during the Enterprise's encounter with the Galactic Barrier. Jerry Ayers, whose character Rizzo was killed by the cloud creature, also played Ensign O'Hurley in Arena, another doomed redshirt character. He had his hair dyed lighter in this appearance to lessen the resemblance. Okay, here's the count. Security guard redshirt casualties of 3. 3 confirmed, 1 possible. Of the initial security team to be attacked by the creature, 2, Rizzo, who dies off screen, and another man who dies on screen, are killed, but Leslie survives and is seen later in the episode. Of Garovic's team, 1 man is killed and the other is reported in critical condition in Kirk's log. While McCoy later performs an autopsy report, it is never stated whether the report is for the man confirmed killed or the man in critical condition. After the creature invades the Enterprise, it attacks 2 crewmen, killing 1 and leaving the other with a chance for survival, per McCoy, but it is never revealed if these are security officers or other crewmen. Cool. Alrighty, and let's take a look at the soundtrack. Yep. Now, the music is credited to Alexander Courage, although it strongly resembles the main title music for Hollow Triumph by Saul Kaplan. And of course, it was sung by Luli Jean Norman, who we talked about earlier. With the last thing we had. All right, cool. And let's see. And of course, the filming done at Desilu Studios there in Culver City, California. And the filming dates for this episode are October 9th, 1967 to October 16th, 1967. So exactly a week. So that's cool. All right, let's take a look at the two gentlemen I talked about. All right, so let's see. Stephen Brooks. All right, and Stephen Brooks, unfortunately, we did lose him back in 1999. An actor, he was born on August 12th, 1942, in Columbus, Ohio. He was an actor known for Star Trek, but he also did the FBI TV series, and he was in the soap opera Days of Our Lives. He died on December 1st, 1999, in Seattle, Washington. He was only 57 years old. Okay. So, as I said, he played Garavik for this one episode. In the FBI TV series, he played Special Agent Jim Rhodes for 61 episodes. That went from 1965 to 1967. Then in Days of Our Lives, he was Joshua Fallon #1. And in that in that soap opera, from 1980 to 1981, he was in 194 episodes. And then finally, the other thing he's known for is The Interns, which was a TV series from 1970 to 1971. He was in 24 episodes of that, and he played Dr. Greg Pettit in that one. And according to the background information of IMDb, the last thing he worked in was a movie called Crystal Gazing in 1982, and he was Ponton's aide in that. So, okay, cool. Oh, he also did Barnaby Jones, Vegas, The Manhunter, Young Dr. Kildare, Medical Center, House Calls. Yeah, he did a lot of TV. Okay, so that was Stephen Brooks. Rest in peace. All right, and the next person, Jerry Ayers, who plays Rizzo. Okay, we did lose Jerry Ayers back in 2013. He was an actor, he did soundtrack, and he was born one day before my birthday on September 21st, 1936, in Richmond, California. He was known for Star Trek. He did the Green Hornet series, and he also did The Bold and the Beautiful, which was the only other soap opera that I pleasantly enjoyed for at least the first two seasons until Ridge and everybody else got stupid. And before that, Dark Shadows, of course. He was married to Cheryl Ann Bellani, and then he got married to Mary Millicent Bonbright. You try to say those names 3 times fast. He died on May 14th, 2013 in LA. He was 76 years old. So he had a pretty decent life. So rest in peace there, Jerry. Okay. Now, as we mentioned before, from season 1, episode 18 in Arena, he was O'Herlihy in that one in 67. And then in 67, season 2, episode 13, we're doing Obsession. He is Rizzo. And yes, he died on both series. So, well, not Herlihy, I'm sorry, but Rizzo he did. Okay. All right. And let's see. In The Green Hornet, he played the role of Pete in season 1, episode 2, Give 'Em Enough Rope. And that was from 1966. Of course, that was Van Johnson and Bruce Lee. Okay, and then for 47 episodes from 1987 to 1991 in The Bold and the Beautiful TV series, he was Conway Weston, private investigator, or PI. Okay, and then in 1977 in Tales of the Unexpected, oh, that was a great TV series, despite what people say, he did one episode, and that was from season 1, episode 6. He played Deputy Jones in Force of Evil. Nice. Okay. And of course, according to IMDb, before he passed, his very last work was on The Bold and the Beautiful. But he also appeared on LA Law, Trapper John MD, Vegas, Dynasty, Chips, just to name a few, and the Rockford Files. He also appeared in General Hospital as one of the other soap operas of the day. All right, so that is the first one. Okay, now we'll get back here and we'll start with our next episode. Here we go. We'll have that all set up. Let's see who has joined the chat since then. Okay. All right, so we've had Charlotte. Very cool. Charlotte did say, I will be safe and I will hug my mom for you. Aww. Yeah, hug her for both of us, sweetheart. That is awesome. And we love you very much there, Charlotte. You take care of yourself, my niece, our niece. Take care, okay? Yeah, please. Okay, we got 4 likes already. This is awesome. Alrighty, and I bet my beautiful wife is watching. So, okay. Okay, so our next episode of The 4 is Wolf in the Fold. And of course, as I mentioned, that the Scotty is accused of a murder he didn't commit. All right, it was directed by Joseph Pevney. The writer was Robert Bloch, Bloch. And of course, Shatner, Nimoy, Kelly, and the rest. Let's see. Hengist, yes. And Saibo, yes. So we'll do those 2. And of course, Hikaru Sulu makes a reappearance. Yay. Okay, very cool. So Sulu comes back. And Majel Barrett comes back as the Enterprise computer voice. Cool. And of course, Dewan came back as Scotty. Well, he had to. He was the one accused of murder, so. Yeah. Okay. All right, so we are going to talk about John Fiedler, who played Hengist, who actually we found out is, spoiler alert, is the guy, the guy from London, the murderer guy, the Tower of London murders guy. Oh, man. That is embarrassing. How can I not remember? Well, anyway. Yeah. Jack the Ripper, that's it. Okay. So we find out he's Jack the Ripper that's crossed over several centuries, and he's an entity, not an actual person. He's this evil spirit, evil force that's been going through the centuries, through Earth's past and through everybody else, and knocking off people here and there, especially the ladies. He's a big ladies' man, or a ladies' thing, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so we'll talk about John Fiedler. And then Pilar Surratt, who plays Saibo, the lady who can predict the future, sort of like a gypsy. Yeah, it's kind of cool. All right, so let's take a look at trivia. Okay, now for most of Star Trek, James Doohan, who plays Scotty, hides his right hand, which was missing the middle finger due to that World War II D-Day injury he took. While being questioned with his hand resting on the lie detector scanner, his fingers are hidden by being curled around the edge of the plate. During a close-up shot of the machine, reacting to an intentional lie being told, a 5-digit hand spread across the plate is seen that of a stunt double. Doohan later wrote about it in his autobiography and said this was one of his favorite episodes. This episode was made around the time that Leonard Nimoy earned an Emmy nomination for his portrayal of Mr. Spock. William Shatner has admitted that this put his nose out of joint considerably, leading to tensions between the 2 actors. So this episode was a conscious effort on the part of the writers to sideline Nimoy and give Shatner center stage. After the series finished, these animosities were put aside, and the 2 remaining actors remained lifelong friends up until a few years before Nimoy died in 2015. Robert Bloch originally wrote that Kirk, Scotty, and Bones having drinks which had colored layers, their moods would change as they drank each layer. This idea was dropped as being too complicated of a special effect. Network censors were concerned that it would appear that they were using drugs. The producers argued against this, but were unable to use the drinks anyway. According to Tanya Lamani, the makeup for Kara was initially much more elaborate. Lamani recalled, "They sent me to the makeup department because they wanted to do something extravagant with my look. The first day, they put feathers of different colors all over my face, on my eyelashes, my eyelids, my nose. Then they took me to the director, Joe Pevney, and he said, no, less. The makeup people kept trying to match his vision for 4 days with less and less feathers and fewer colors each time. But Joe kept saying no. Finally, on the 5th day, I came in with no makeup, and he said, that's it. That's what I want to see, her face. Lamani did her own belly dance choreography for the scene, but due to censorship concerns, had to cover her navel with a jeweled flower. Okay. A large number of costumes in the Argelius bar scene are reused from previous episodes. Some of the extras in the bar are wearing turtleneck uniforms from the cage and where no man has gone before. 2 extras in the bar, one of them later seen on the foggy street, are wearing the silver cadet uniforms made for the Finnegan character from Shore Leave. Also, one bar patron, who was played by regular background performer Joseph Paz, is wearing Commissioner Ferris's costume from the Galileo 7, and another is wearing a colonist jumpsuit recycled from The Devil in the Dark. Okay, here's a couple of the spoilers. All right. John Fiedler once stated that his role of Hengist, the chief administrator possessed by the spirit of Jack the Ripper, was the one role in his long career that he was most asked about by his fans. In the briefing room scene, Dr. McCoy says that Mr. Hengist is dead after a simple punch from Captain Kirk. Later, Hengist jumps back up after the alien entity re-enters his body. It is quite possible that the real Hengist died years ago on Rigel 4, and the creature has simply been animating his body all along. At no other time does anyone examine him. Body count 4, and none of them are the stereotypical red shirts. Nancy Crater's scream for the man trap is reused as Kara's scream when she is killed. One of many stories and screenplays by the same author, Robert Bloch, based on Jack the Ripper. Other examples are The Treasure of Jack the Ripper, Yours Truly Jack the Ripper, which was previously filmed as Yours Truly Jack the Ripper in 1961, which was a movie, and A Most Unusual Murder. Some plot elements of Yours Truly are recycled here, including the seance scene where the psychic is murdered in the darkness, and the notion of the Ripper being an ageless entity thriving on fear. At around 16 minutes, when Hengist returns to the room with Moria? No, I'm trying to read it. Morla, sorry, M-O-R-L-A, Morla and Tark. He is informed by Kirk that a second murder had taken place. He proceeds to ask how the girl was killed, even though it was never mentioned that the victim was a girl, possibly a hint to him being the killer. Very cool. Okay, and I'm going to go back here. Yeah, I'm going to go back and see, because I think I might have forgot something from Obsession. Let's see here. I think I forgot the spoilers for that one. Let's see. I'm just making sure I did cover this. And I did. Okay, awesome. I just want to make sure I covered that. All right. Okay, now we'll get back to this episode and we'll take a look at, let's see here. Sorry. Just going through stuff. It's taken a while to get myself back to this. Okay. Okay, yeah. So I read all the spoilers for this episode. Okay. Now we'll move on and let's see. Remember, no goofs. We don't do quotes anymore. At least for TOS. Okay. And then he kept the Alexander Courage theme and Luli G. Norman. Okay. And of course, filmed at Desilu, and The filming dates for this episode were June 27th, 1967 to July 5th, 1967. So very cool. Okay, now we'll look at the two people for this episode, which are, of course, John Fiedler, who plays Hengist, and Pilar Surratt, who plays Saibo. So we'll look at John Fiedler here. Okay, we did lose John Fiedler in 2005. Typical of busy character actors, Fiedler made his voice and his face recognizable to millions. Now, many know the bald-pated Fiedler as therapy patient Mr. Peterson on the Bob Newhart Show. Others might first recognize him for the 1968 movie The Odd Couple and spin-off TV show The Odd Couple 1970, or perhaps even from the Broadway play that preceded them. Even kids would know that helium high voice from animated Disney features like Robin Hood, The Fox and the Hound, to mention others, and of course Piglet from Winnie the Pooh.
$50.
He was born February 3rd, 1925, and he died June 25th, 2005, 80 years old.
$50.
Okay. He appeared in 12 Angry Men as juror number 2 in 1957. He was Vinny in the Odd Couple movie from 1968, which featured Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau. He did the voice of the old man in the animated Disney series or Disney movie The Emperor's New Groove in 2000. And in 1969, he was Lawyer Daggett in the original True Grit, which featured, of course, John Wayne, among others. Cool. Okay. He did a video voice one last time. It was a sequel or whatever to the Emperor's thing. It was called Kronk's New Groove, and in that video, his voice was Rudy, and that was in 2005. So that was the last thing he did. He also did a few of the Pooh's Heffalump movies. He did the regular movie in 2005, and he also voiced Piglet in the final performance of his career as Piglet in the Heffalump Halloween movie, all in 2005. And, of course, he did Growing Up with Winnie the Pooh TV series. He was Piglet's voice, and that was from Season 1, Episode 1, A Great Day of Discovery. So he did a lot of voice work before he died at the age of 80. So, very cool. All right, so that's John Fiedler. And now we'll take a look at Pilar Surratt. Okay.
Yes.
I had to lower my voice because my wife is working on this thing. Okay, so Pilar Surratt died in 2001, unfortunately. Rest in peace, both John and Pilar. She was an actress. She was born Rita Hernandez in Manila in the Philippines. Pilar Surratt moved to Los Angeles in her childhood and started out as a dancer in Ken Murray's Blackouts troupe. In the late 1950s, she started her acting career in several guest TV appearances and was often considered at the top of the list whenever a part for an Asian woman needed to be filled. Off screen, she used the name Pilar Severus after marrying another guy named Severus. So she was born July 25th, 1938. She did die on June 2nd, 2001 at the age of 62. So, okay. So besides the one episode of Star Trek in 1967, before that, she was in a movie called The Young Savages in 1961. She played Luisa Escalante. Then in 1960 to 62, she did appear in 3 episodes of Adventures in Paradise. In Season 1, Episode 25, The Forbidden Sea, she played Tuhura. In Season 2, Episode 9, she played the Big Surf as Midge. And in Season 3, the final season, Episode 26, Blueprint for Paradise, she plays Queen Victoria. Okay. And then she did 1 episode of Hawaii Five-0 as Teresa Dietrich with Jack Lord. And in that one, it was season 2, episode 22, called Nightmare Road in 1970. So let's see. Her last acting role was in Bonanza, where she played Ines Salinas in 1972, and she did season 13, episode 19, which was called The Customs of the Country. Okay, that was her last appearance. Very cool. So rest in peace, Pilar Surratt. All right. Okay, so we'll get back to our next episode. Season 2, episode 15, The Trouble with Tribbles. My favorite episode of the 4. Let's see who else we have today. Bro Jay. Hey, there you are, bro. Bro Jay says, hey, what you doing? Oh, yes. Shut up, Jay. Oh, Jay. All right. Well, Jay, we got to get you back here as your managing mod. So here you go. All right, bro. Jay. So now you are a managing moderator. You got your managing directorship back with, Suzanne and Miss Charlotte. Miss Charlotte also got her Renchi back. Blue Renchi. Yeah. Managing mod. Yeah, and so did Sir Lemon Pie. And when I see Connie Clary, I'll get Connie Clary, give her managing moderator back too. Moderatorship. So congratulations again, Jay. We got you covered. Okay. Can I talk loudly, honey?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, Suzanne's trying to fix all of our phone problems today. We're almost done. Almost got everything fixed. Yay! What will I do with this power? Up to you, bro, Jay. I don't know. Shut up, Mikey. Okay. Let's see. All right, The Trouble with Tribbles. Here we go. Alrighty, so Joseph Pevney again directed. This was the writer of it was David Gerald. And of course, it got the numerous people. All right, so we're going to examine the careers of William Shallert, who plays Nils Barris, and then we'll take care of Stanley Adams, who played Cyrano Jones in this episode. So those two gentlemen. And let's see. This one, of course, features Shatner, Nimoy, Kelly, and, of course, William Campbell. We talked about him several times as Koloff, but remember, he also appeared as Squire of Gothas in another episode. Whit Bissell, he's been in a lot of things. Scotty is in this episode. Uhura is in this episode. Pavel Chekhov is in this episode. Let's see. Oh, I think that's it. Okay. Oh, and Korax, played by Michael Pataki. Where he says the Enterprise should be scuttled as garbage. Yeah, that one. Okay, so let's take a look at the trivia. And of course, this was the one that, for me, gets an A++, 10 out of 10. And then, of course, the other one that gets 10 out of 10 is Trials and Tribulations, which is the crossover between DS9 and this episode. And then, of course, there is Return of the Tribbles, which comes in the animated series. So, yeah. More Tribbles, More Troubles. Right, that's the name of the episode from the animated series. All great episodes. Okay, so the scene in which Kirk is buried in an avalanche of Tribbles took 8 takes to get right. The Tribbles were thrown into the hatch by members of the production crew. The crew members were not sure when to stop because they were unable to see the scene. This is why additional Tribbles keep falling on Kirk one by one. William Shatner can be seen looking perplexed as to why more Tribbles keep falling on him. To create the one Tribble moving on its own, the prop supervisor bought a battery powered bought a battery-powered toy dog and stripped it down to the mechanical works. Once recovered with fur, including the toy legs, the prop moved on camera along the railing on the Enterprise bridge without wires or external assistance. The toy was so noisy, all the dialogue in the scene had to be looped with ADR, which was re-recorded after shooting. The noises that the Tribbles make were a combination of dove coos, screech owl cries, and air escaping from balloons. The pile of Tribbles near the end was actually created by gluing Tribble props around a large wire frame, which William Shatner then stood in the middle of to give the illusion of mass numbers. In reality, there were only 500 Tribbles made. This is obvious when you look at how the Tribbles are piled up and none have landed on the floor at Spock's feet. William Shatner recalled the great enjoyment all the cast had filming this episode. He noted the trouble we had with Tribbles was to keep your straight face. It was just a lot of fun. Okay. Here's a couple of spoilers. The consequences of Scotty transporting the Tribbles onto the Klingon ship reached farther than Scotty probably could have foreseen. As detailed by Worf in Trials and Tribble-ations from 1996 on Deep Space Nine, the Klingons considered Tribbles to be an ecological menace and mortal enemies of the Klingon Empire. When an effort to breed a natural predator that could hunt them failed, the Empire made a concentrated effort to hunt the Tribbles down to extinction, which finally culminated in the destruction of the Tribble homeworld at the end of the 23rd century. Despite this, many Tribbles survived on other ships. In his autobiography, Beam Me Up, Scotty, James Doohan said that the final line, "Where there'll be no Tribble at all," was his spin on the scripted line, which used trouble instead of Tribble. He only used it in one take, and that was the take director Joseph Pevney decided to use. Awesome. Hey, how are you there, Deja Vu? So are we all done with the phones, honey?
Yep, your phone's all set up and ready to go.
Great.
Now you can talk to Jay or whoever.
Okay. So our list is still there then.
Yep. Well, I have to put it back in, but the only thing I have hooked up right now is me and your mom and dad.
That's it. That's all we need.
Yeah,
if we're gonna talk to you, Jay, from now on, it'll have to be over Facebook. We can't afford to have anybody else's numbers stolen. So yeah. I love you.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Okay, honey. He says goodbye, co-wife. Yeah. Okay, so
bye for now.
Yep. Okay. And of course, as we all know, the theme credited to Alexander Courage and sung by Lily G. Norman. Okay, and let's see. Okay, and the filming location, Desilu Studios, and the dates were August 22nd, 1967 to August 29th, 1967. So a week's filming there. Okay, now we'll look at the cast and crew and see those two I talked about. Okay, so William Schallert. And William Schallert, unfortunately, we did lose him in 2016. He worked as an actor, but also on soundtrack. He was in a movie called Colossus, the Forbin Project in 1970. He was born July 6th, 1922, and he died May 8th, 2016. He was 93 years of age. So a very good long career for him. He was the son of Edwin Schallert, drama editor of the Los Angeles Times and the dean of West Coast Critics. William Schallert became interested in an acting career while at UCLA in 1942. After graduation, he became involved with the Circle Theater, eventually becoming one of its owners, and made his film debut in The Foxes of Harrow in 1947. He then became ubiquitous in movies and TV ever since, and from 1979 to 1981, he was president of the Screen Actors Guild. He stayed active with SAG projects and so on. Okay. Let's see. Right. So in 1957, he also appeared in The Incredible Shrinking Man as Dr. Arthur Bramson. Okay. In 1963 to 1966, on the Patty Duke Show, as Martin Lane or Uncle Jed Lane or Kenneth Lane, with the twins played by Patty Duke. He appeared in 104 episodes of that TV series. In the Heat of the Night, the original movie, which led to Carol O'Connor's series later on, he was Mayor Schubert, and that, like I said, in 1967. And then in 1987, he's known for Inner Space, where he plays Dr. Greenbush in that one with Martin Short and Dennis Quaid. Okay, according to IMDb, the very last thing he worked on was the TV series Two Broke Girls, and he's uncredited as the elevator operator from one episode in 2014, and that was season 3, episode 20, called "And the Not Broke Parents." Okay, very cool. And before that, he was Max DeVore in the Bag of Bones TV miniseries, which lasted for 2 episodes in 2011, and he was in part 1 and part 2 of that. So, yeah, cool. All right, so that was the distinguished mini bio of William Schellert. Rest in peace. Okay. Now we'll take a look at Stanley Adams. Okay. And unfortunately, we did lose Stanley Adams in 1977. He was an actor and a writer, and he changed it originally Abramowitz, Stanley Abramowitz, but then he changed it to Stanley Adams. He had a lengthy career on both stage and screen, the majority of which was spent playing minor supporting roles. A possible exception was the part of Rusty Trawler, a pint-sized millionaire in the classic romantic comedy Breakfast at Tiffany's, 1961. Otherwise, he portrayed innumerable minor ethnic villains, bartenders, and avuncular fast-talking salesmen. He was born April 7th, 1915, and he died April 27th, 20 years after. Be careful, honey. And both the phones are here, right?
Pardon?
Both the phones are here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Be careful. Trust no one. Nobody.
I love you.
I love you too, baby. Be safe. Okay. That's hard. Anyway, yeah, 20 days after he just turned 62 in 1977. Okay. So besides playing Cyrano Jones, and like we said, he was Rusty Trawler in The Breakfast at Tiffany's with Audrey Hepburn and George Peppard. And he was a storekeeper in a movie called Nevada Smith in 1966. And he also appeared in Lilies of the Field as Juan, 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 in 1963. His last performance was in the TV series Del Vecchio, where he played Secola Pawnbroker. And that episode was from season 1, episode 15, called Bad Shoot. And like I said, that was 1977, the year he passed away. Okay. So that is Stanley Adams. All right, so we looked at Schellert and Adams. Let's go back to our 4th and final episode to cover today to get us caught up. And that is the Gamesters of Triskelion. And let me see if I got anybody else here. Okay. Maniacal laugh, yeah. And he says, I gotta go. Gotta get ready for a trip. God bless. God bless you, Brother Jay. God bless your wonderful partner, Leanna. I hope you two both have a safe trip. Please have a safe trip out there. And again, we have 4 likes. Very cool. And we did promote, as it should be, we did re-promote Miss Charlotte Nightstar the Werewolf, Awoo, and Mr. Bro Jay, our friend there, Jay Aldridge, down in Louisiana, in Bastrop. So both of them are now Blue Red Cheese, and managing moderators, along with Sir Lemon Pie, and of course my beautiful wife Suzanne. For now. Okay, very cool. Alrighty, so let's get to the final episode. I'll just try to read through this as fast as possible, and then we're done for today. Alright, so the Gamesters of Triskelion, and the director was Gene Nelson, and the writer was Margaret Arman. And of course, it featured the usual cast of characters, and of course, Nichelle and Dewin and Koenig, and let's see, yeah, okay, no Sulu in this one, I can see. All right, so we are going to talk about Joseph Ruskin, who played Galt, and we'll talk about Angelique Pettyjohn, who played Shauna. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and take a look at the trivia first. All right. During an interview, Angelique Pettyjohn said that when she first auditioned for the role of Shayna, she admitted to the producers that she didn't think she fit the character. When they asked why, she said the script describes her as an Amazon. But at 5'6", Pettyjohn said she's hardly an Amazon. The producers all laughed and said, "Look, honey, next to Shatner, you'll look like an Amazon." The look of the character Galt was modeled after Ming the Merciless, the archenemy from the Flash Gordon comic strip. When Joseph Ruskin saw that his costume consisted of a long black floor-length robe, he came up with the idea of walking in an extremely fluid way, known as glide stepping by marching bands. He thought that combined with the robe, it might make the viewer wonder if he was even a biped humanoid or perhaps had some other means of movement. The producers interrupted filming of this episode to tell the cast and crew that the show had been canceled. Everyone was depressed throughout the rest of production, but then fans started protesting and writing letters until NBC decided to keep it on for another season. A Triskelion is an ancient symbol used in Greek, Roman, and Celtic cultures. It was originally three spiral, but evolved into three legs, as seen in the flag of the Isle of Man. The symbol shown on the planet is a geometric version of this design. Okay, there's a couple of spoilers. The only episode of Star Trek TOS that ends with a non-regular character as the focus of the scene, when Shayna looks up at the sky and speaks to the unseen Captain Kirk. At one point, Spock and McCoy briefly discuss how long one could possibly survive trapped in a transporter beam. Relics in 1992 from Star Trek Next Generation would reveal how Scotty survived for approximately 75 years, being held in a transporter beam. All right, and there's a couple of cameos. Bob Johnson. Now, Johnson, voice of one of the providers, was one of America's most famous voices for a few years. He was the tape-recorded voice that gave the Impossible Missions Force its assignments at the beginning of most episodes of Mission Impossible from '66. Mission was filmed next door to the Star Trek set, and actors from the series would often wander over to see what was happening on the Enterprise. Johnson previously did voice work on the first Star Trek pilot, The Cage, in '66. And then, of course, Dick Crockett. He's the stunt coordinator who appears as the Andorian Thrall. Cool. All right, let's take a look at soundtrack. And, of course, the theme by Courage and sung by Lily G. Norman. All right. And then we'll look at filming and production. Okay. Now, for the Gamesters of Triskelion, they filmed this at the time Desilu was not available. So they filmed this on the Paramount Studios lot there at 5555 Melrose Avenue in Hollywood, Los Angeles, California. So they filmed it on two stages, Stage 31 and Stage 32. The filming dates were October 17th, 1967 to October 24th, 1967. Okay. Okay, Joseph Ruskin was born on April 14th, 1924, in Haverhill, Massachusetts. He was an actor and producer known for Smoking Aces in 2006, Star Trek Insurrection in 1998, and The Scorpion King in 2002. He was married to Barbara Green and Patricia Heard. He died on December 28th, 2013, in Santa Monica, California. So he was like I said, born April 14th, 1924, died December 28th, 2013, and he was the age of 89 years old. Okay. In 2006, in Smoking Aces, he played Primo Speranza. In Star Trek Insurrection, he was in costume as Sonia Officer Number 3. That was in 1998. Played Galt in that one episode today. And in The Scorpion King, in 2002, he was the tribal leader. The very last performance, according to IMDb background information, was an episode of Bones. And that was Professor William Grayson in that series. And the episode was Judas on a Pole, Season 2, Episode 11 from 2006. That was his very last role on TV or film. Cool. Same as Smoking Aces. So Smoking Aces was his very last appearance on film. And then Bones was his last appearance on television. So rest in peace, Mr. Joseph Ruskin. He was also in a Twilight Zone episode that we just recently did. So very cool. All right. Okay, now we'll go back to Angelique. And we did lose Angelique Pettyjohn in 1992. She was an actress, and she also worked in the costume and wardrobe department. She was in a movie called Biohazard in 1985. She was born Dorothy Lee Perrins in Los Angeles on March 11, 1943. Angelique Pettyjohn began modeling at a very young age. She also took advantage of her living in the locus of American dreams by studying acting. Pettyjohn made her movie debut at age 21 under the name Angelique in the low-budget The Love Rebellion in 1967, before tasting the big time, co-starring opposite the King, Elvis Presley, in Clambake in 1967. This was her first appearance in an A-list movie, and this led to small roles in other big movies. She died February 14th, Valentine's Day, that's so sad, in 1992. She was only 48 years of age. I want to find out how she passed. Let's see here. I don't normally check this, but right. So her nickname was Angelique. She was 5'6". So I was only about an inch taller than she was because I reached 5'7.5". So she died of cervical cancer. Damn blasted cancer. Okay. Okay, so in 1988, one of her last roles was the Wizard of Speed and Time movie, where she plays Dora Belair, and of course Shayna in Star Trek. She was also in 2 episodes of Get Smart, which we're also covering. In Season 2, Episode 22, she was the cigarette girl as Angelique in Smart Fit, The Battle of Jericho. And in Season 2, Episode 27, she's Charlie Watkins as Angelique in Pussycats Galore in 1967. Wow. Yeah, she was beautiful. Okay. And then that movie, The Wizard of Speed and Time, was her very last role. And then, like I said before that, she plays Lisa Martine in Biohazard in 1985. So that is the mini bio, sadly, of Angelique Pettyjohn. Rest in peace, Angelique. Okay. Well, we've done it. That is all of the episodes for today, and we are caught up. All right, so what I'm going to do now is just let you folks know what's coming for next week. Just 2 episodes. Like I said, one each of Get Smart and TOS. So let me cross this out. Okay. And then I'm going to work on the other side after this is done. Okay. Okay, so next week is episode 17 from season 2. And that one is known as A Piece of the Action. That was the Gangster Planet. That got a 7.6 out of 10. I gave that a B. I gave it a straight up B. I thought that was a pretty good episode. And of course, it featured the late Vic Tayback as one of the gangster leaders. So yeah, we'll talk about Vic next week. Okay, and then let's see. Then let's go to Get Smart, and we'll take a look at that one. Episode 17 from season 2 of that one. Okay. Okay, so season 2, episode 17 is Someone Down Here Hates Me. Chaos puts up a reward for anyone who can get smart. That had a 7.8 out of 10 from 200 people, and definitely got a B from me. Actually got a B plus. I thought that was one of the better ones. And of course, I think it features that great, the guy played by Bernie Kopell, Siegfried, who goes, "We don't shush here," and other stuff. So, so that's next week. All right. So we've got season 2, episode 17 of both Get Smart and TOS to do next week, October 8th, Wednesday. Okay. Whatever time to be determined. Okay. All right. So we are covered there. Okay. So today we had Charlotte Nightstar the Werewolf, and we had Brother Jay. So thank you, Brother Jay, Bro Jay, and Charlotte for coming in today, our niece. Very cool. We still have one person watching. Awesome. Whoever you are, welcome. And we've got the 4 likes. So very cool. Okay. Well, I thought about this and I thought about this. So from now on, whenever we finish this or when we do JAS, which is our, back to JAS, we call it, which is just, regular, discussion information. And then, of course, special edition JAS, which we'll talk about special events only, things that are happening special. But from now on, all I'm going to do is go ahead and just do this real quick. I'm going to let people know that I'm saying a prayer. Me and Suzanne saying a prayer for both Charlotte, for Bro Jay, for his trip with Leanna coming up. Make sure they're safe. For Charlotte, make sure she's safe. The prayers will be for everybody in the chat and for all of our present day subscribers who are now, again, our family members to this channel. And for all those, we say Amen and Amen, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So prayers for everybody there. So this is how we're going to handle it from now on. Unless there is a person who dies, or if we have a special consideration prayer, then we'll say that for that person too. So anyway, getting to what we normally do say, which I will keep, at least the first 3. My wife, who always says, leave everything in God's hands as a Universal Life Church minister. From our brother Larry, who always says, always be yourself. And of course, what I always say now is, be careful out there and be safe. That's what I'm going to say from now on. Be careful out there and be safe. All right. And finally, God bless America. God bless Canada. God bless the UK. And God bless the rest of this world we live in. You know, there is only one like it. So let's make sure we become the stewards and the guardians to our future generation of children and younger and young adults so that they can take care of our legacy and make sure that the earth stays as the way it's supposed to be, peaceful, no wars, and hopefully not messing with Mother Nature. Because if you do, you're going to get you know what. So, yeah, so don't do that. And of course, peace for Mikey Sue's 4. So, on behalf of our beautiful cats, Moonpie and Deja Vu, and of course, on behalf of my beautiful wife, Suzanne, we want to thank all of you for coming back to to this new channel known as at ChattyBloggerMS. Like I said, MS standing for Mikey Sue's, not multiple sclerosis or anything like that. No, I would never make fun of that. So that's what the MS stands for, Mikey Sue's. But I decided to shorten it so I could put it as Chatty Blogger because according to my wife, I am a chatterbox and that is why it is now called Chatty Blogger. Makes sense, doesn't it? So, okay. Well, I might as well go. So, thank you to Charlotte and Broj again for being here today. Thank you for the 2 people still watching. We appreciate all of your wonderful prayers and love and support for this brand new channel. And hopefully in the future, we can have some more fun. Like I said, this year it's going to be just like this, just doing some quick reviews every Wednesday. And then if I appear on other people's streams, if they allow me to, that'll be a lot of fun. I'll just do it that way. Next year, I may bring back StreamYard. I don't know. If not StreamYard, it'll be some other kind. Maybe it'll be Restream. Maybe it'll be that brand new OBS that Larry's been working on. So we'll see what happens with that. But again, I also want to thank again Charlotte and Broj for becoming, again, the managing mods that help my wife out, that help Sir Lemon Pie out. Eventually they'll help out Sir Connie Cleary. And of course, if I can get Larry back here, then I'll put Larry as managing mod as well. So, okay. All right, well, take care, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed our show today. And I know it was a lengthy one, but I'm glad that you stayed towards the end for the 2 that are still here. So we'll see you all next time. I promise next Wednesday, October 8th, will be a shorter show, and every show after that should be short. And as I said, also, we may do, like I said, an occasional Back to JAS talking about everyday subjects, things that are going on, and special edition JASs, which would include special events like weddings, anniversaries, things of that nature, and holidays as well. So that's what you have to look forward to this year with the Chatty Blogger MS. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time, and God bless you all.